digital arena, on the air, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Football in January.
The Donut Bag presented by The Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Bag of Donuts. And here's your host, Joey Bag of Donuts.
So, do any of us have voices?
We may have voices, but we may not have brains left to use them.
I think I had like 3 heart attacks last night. Only which is a low number. I think that's below the average of the average Steeler fan. Oh my God. I am still in disbelief over that game. I still cannot believe it happened. Here's my question. My first question. Before the kick, what were your thoughts?
I thought this is how it's going to end. And I mean, just, brutal. When you lose to the Ravens, it's never, steamrolled. It's always some brutal mistake, some dramatic finish. And I thought, here we go. It's just a dramatic way to lose to the Ravens. And, tomorrow Joe and I and Dave, we're going to be talking about firing Tomlin and, how a disaster it was. And then he missed it, and talking to some people that were there, unless they were right at one different angle, a lot of people didn't realize he missed that field goal. People that were actually in the game until fans were like, he missed it. Unless you had that specific angle looking from his back, a lot of the fans on that side didn't realize he missed it.
Oh, wow.
And I saw a video from someone in the stands from the side, and you saw the fans who were right behind that goalpost. Not even. I mean, the right goalpost, not the whole thing, just the right one. Stand up like a second before everyone else because they saw it missed, and then it kind of spread out to the rest of the stadium.
Not as bad as Dave. Not as bad as the Detroit game where the ref was like,
no.
Detroit got a touchdown. No, they didn't. Wait a minute. No, yeah, okay. And people were like, we won. Like, oh no, we didn't.
No, you didn't. No, I mean, first of all, you're still trying to get over the shock of Boswell missing.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
That's just like you sit there and you're like, I said to my wife, she was watching with me. I said, I can't believe he missed. I mean, how do you miss it? I mean, he missed of all people. And I mean, who would think that the Ravens would go down there and get about the same field goal as the miss? The only thing that ran through my mind, the only little sliver of doubt, thought, well, he is a rookie. This is a lot of pressure, but it's just so close. I don't see it happening. But it did.
Yeah. And I'll say this, as much as everyone wants to rag on the Ravens, which is always fun. It's always fun. I feel sorry as a human being. I feel sorry for him. And I feel sorry for his family because
he is
apparently
so much
through
abuse.
Instagram and DMs, he was getting some really nasty stuff.
Fiance is getting just thousands of horrible comments about death threats and no, you should get a divorce or something like. Yeah. What are we doing? Like, come on, people. We're human beings here. It's just a game. My goodness. If Boswell ended up being the reason they lost, like, okay, yeah, I'm upset, but I'm not like. It's not the end of the world. Or DK Metcalf was like, I wouldn't like hate on the dude. It's like, it's a game, people.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, he's a rookie. And I'm sorry, Mike Tirico jinxed him. It was a combination of that buildup and the priest before the game. Oh, they look for the guy. And this is just the situation. They look far and wide. They picked this guy just for the situation. You're like,
don't tell me announcer jinxes are not a thing because my joke is the co-MVPs of this game were Mike Tirico for that announcer jinx and the priest for whoever put the holy water in that, that end zone.
St. Vincent College. They brought him up from St. Vincent College. I think he's the same one that does stuff for them at spring training at Steelers training camp.
Yeah. The way Mike Tirico was talking it was almost a guarantee he was going like, they looked far and wide. They searched the earth for the perfect kicker. And they went to the mountaintop and there was a light that shined on him and he was the chosen one and he would never miss a kick and he never will miss a kick. Oh, he missed it. Like it was just so...
He missed it bad. I mean, it's just, it was, and the funny thing about that, Joe, looking at it the other way, I somehow feel like if it would have been, the Steelers would have lost, not much of the blame would go to Boz. It would all still been on Tomlin. It would have been on Metcalf.
Right.
That's where the blame would have fallen because God forbid we blame Boswell. But,
and also I think Boswell does have years.
Right.
Decade,
he has a lot of goodwill built up.
You could say, okay, he had a bad hit. One out of how many games has he won? This is a rookie. This is,
But conversely, to Joe's point, the only other thing, and I usually don't get caught up in this kind of stuff. In fact, I can't remember really getting caught up into it since, I think it was trying to forget what Super Bowl was, where Elway and the Broncos beat the Packers, Super Bowl 31 maybe, and Elway just took that game over. And I sat there and I thought, we have no good receivers, but I just don't see Aaron Rodgers going out like this.
Exactly.
And I had nothing to back that up. I had nothing to, but here he is in the second half of that game, almost willing himself and this team on his back to get that win, with nobody to really, don't get me wrong, some of those guys made some great catches and, it was like, holy cow, he's in this to win it. And he's not going to let it be, like you said, maybe they're going to be 26-3. That's going to be the final score. I just had a feeling like, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to keep them in this game somehow. And lo and behold, and Tariqa talked about that as soon as the second half started. Is this it? Is this the end of the story career? And it apparently, at least for this week, it was not the end.
Yep.
And one thing there's a couple things that are similar in every Steelers-Ravens game. One of them is that it will always be close, almost always be close. It'll always be hard hitting. It'll be close.
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing is one of the coaches will be an idiot because they know each other so well. And Tomlin and Harbaugh know each other so well that they're like, I know that you know that you know that I know that I know that you know. So I'm going to do something completely different. Now, what Harbaugh did to lose this game was they got that first down. That was an amazing pass to Likely on the 22-yard line. Okay, and there was a little bit of time left, and I think they had a timeout. And you're on the 22-yard line. It would have been a 39-yard kick. And what do? They kneel down. They lose 3 yards, but they get a better position for Kyler Loop. Why don't you run a play and make it an easier field goal for the rookie?
Yeah. And the Steelers defense wasn't doing anything in the fourth. Neither defense was doing anything in the fourth quarter, at least in the last 5 minutes. Because it's like, I heard one guy say it's the first time that that a receiver quarterback duo went for more than 50 yards twice in the fourth quarter to come back and lost.
Yeah.
Oh, and Joe, I want to make sure we don't forget because we forgot last time till the very end. Don't forget, if you want to make a comment, go to the YouTube.
Oh, by the way, welcome to the Done and Bad podcast brought to you by the Sportscast Network. If you would like to comment, which we actually people still commented, thank goodness, even despite my forgetfulness. If you want to comment, you could. Usually people comment on YouTube, but I think you could comment on Twitter too. Welcome to everybody. What a very joyous occasion. But
yeah, you can comment on Facebook too. If any of you, I'm streaming live on Facebook right now.
there you go. Yeah, Dan's sharing it too.
We'll read your comments and answer them, and we'll get a lot of good insight. And
my New Year's resolution is somehow I want to stream to Instagram. I think it's possible. I don't know. I don't know, but I think there's a couple things you have to do. I don't know, but I'll look into that. I'd like to stream because I have a pretty good Instagram following. So, but at one point, I mean, well, early in the game when the Steelers offense was struggling, Darren, you texted me or I texted you and said, thanks a lot, DK Metcalf. And that's how I thought. It's like, are we going to lose this game because that guy was an idiot? We almost did.
Because we damn sure lost to the Browns because of it.
Yeah,
we looked like we had no idea what to do. But the thing that we talked about last week is the Ravens defense has just not been the Ravens defense. It didn't look that good in the very beginning game against the Bills, and it hasn't looked good all year. And that was still the bane of their existence. I mean,
no pass rush whatsoever.
No. You think Ravens, you think like Steelers defense, Texans defense, the Browns, dare I say, even their defense. And it just isn't there and hasn't been there, And so Steelers were able to take advantage of that. Like you said, Joe, there was no pass rush. They had trouble with the run. They definitely had trouble covering man-to-man. And so in the end result there, we were able to move the ball down the field again. I dare say if we had DK Metcalf, we may have won this score by more than 2 points, or this game by more than 2 points. So yeah, and now I think that question's got to be, because we sure as hell know if we would have lost that game, the big question tonight would be, does Tomlin need to go? And the sad thing is, I still say yes. But the sad thing is he's bought himself some more time. He's made the playoffs. You got to wonder if Baltimore, there's got to be 3 guys doing a podcast right about now that we are. Are they saying it's time for John Harbaugh to go? Because it hasn't been pretty.
It's almost the same situation.
Yeah.
Almost the same between Harbaugh and Tomlin. They've been there a long time. They've had some success, but not a lot. The difference is the Ravens have their franchise quarterback. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and they keep having heartbreaking losses every year. They didn't even make the playoffs this year.
And honestly,
maybe the window is closed for the Ravens.
If it wasn't for Lamar Jackson, that game's not even close. Or if it wasn't for a quarterback who could get out of sacks, Highsmith had him dead to rights, and he just squirted and then 60-yard touchdown.
More than once, Highsmith had him dead to rights. Yeah,
and I mean, Lamar, and I know they don't want. I cannot put this. This was 2 teams, especially at the end, going at it full blazing. And it was whoever was going to mess up first, know.
Right.
And
Ramsey messed up on that last night. Ramsey did not have a good game.
Yeah.
Not a good game by Ramsey.
No.
Another thing that I guess was surprising was, I don't know what got into Tomlin on 4th downs, but he used to be the dude that would never, if it was 4th and a millimeter, he would not go for it on 4th down. I don't care where it was. Now he goes for it all the time. I don't know what got into him.
Aaron Rodgers,
maybe,
or the tush push, or should we call it the brotherly push?
Literally, brothers are pushing each other. So yes,
the brotherly shove. Because we now have a 2-way player on the Steelers.
Cam Hayward.
We have Cam Hayward being a 2-way player now.
Does everything. He's there at the coin toss. He's a captain. He's on the defense. Now he's on the offense. He's also on special teams. What does he get the coffee too? Does he make the meals too?
Well, any of us are debating that contract. Sorry, Dave.
Go ahead.
He sure as hell is proving that he earned that contract.
Yeah,
he sure is.
The incredible high level he's playing right now, and I hate to say at the ripe old age of 36, 37. But for a defensive lineman, the kind of punishment they get, game after game after game, for him to be able to, even try to run down Derrick Henry, which he wasn't going to catch him, but he wasn't getting blown away.
He's running like 50 yards down the field.
Yeah.
He's going to look like you guys in that upcoming marathon, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. It's so funny in sports when they say, "Look at him! Look at that ancient old man running out there. Look at that dino. He's 36. I was 36 15 years ago. It's just so funny that they talk like it's a wonder he could walk out there. 36 years old. What an age. What a wonder.
Yeah, I'd be 36 again. Give me a chance.
Yeah, really.
But he's doing that into January, guys. I mean, we're talking, the crap weather, the cold weather, and for that matter, I mean, TJ Watt, played pretty well last night too. Welcome back to TJ Watt. That made a difference, especially that interception. And it seemed like what they're saying, he even said it hurt to play in that weather with that collapse, partially collapsed lung, whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, all the heart attacks aside and this and that and the other thing, and here they are, 26-24 winners, and we're still talking playoffs in a good way.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. And you know what? The thing that really turned the tide, unfortunately, I mean, you don't want to see anybody get injured, but when Hamilton got hurt, it changed everything because the Ravens were stopping. The Steelers could do nothing, and then when Hamilton got hurt, all of a sudden they were passing all over the place.
And they were. No, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
So now what?
But probably the hottest team in the AFC at least coming in, maybe the hottest team in the NFL coming in Pittsburgh next Monday night, and it's going to be a tall order. Not that they can't do it. Could they win? Yeah, I mean, you can't say never after what happened last night, but you're talking about a Texas team that only rushes 3 players, and they're still that good on defense. Yeah. They only rush 3 down linemen, a lot of DBs. The only thing I could possibly think is how pumped up is DK Metcalf going to be for this game, Joe?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got I don't know if you saw him today, but he wouldn't even answer any questions about what was said, to who, what that fan. He seems like laser focused. I think he may try to come out and be absolutely crazy.
I think of all the people that were relieved when Luke missed that kick, I think DK Metcalf was one of the biggest ones because it wasn't just us saying, "Hey, it's your fault. We might lose this game." I have a feeling, at least if I was him, I would say, "God, I screwed up, but I swear, you give me a chance, I will win the next game for you. I don't care what's going on." I have a feeling DK Metcalf is going to have the game of his life just to make up for all that crap that happened.
Yeah, they'll probably try to double cover him for sure, but I mean, still, I think he's got to be feeling pretty focused and determined.
The one thing it's a shame how Washington got hurt, because if you only have DK out, Washington's in playing healthy, it's a big hit, but like goal line. Hey, dude, you're 6'7". Go over there and I'll throw it over your head. Catch it. But it was nice they knew Freiermuth was still on the team. They had a couple of decent, good passes, not just dinkies. Over the middle, over 10 yards. It exists.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I don't know. I haven't followed the Texans that closely. How good is their offense?
Well, CJ Stroud is very good, and Nico Collins is one of the best wide receivers in the league. But their offense is not as good as their defense. Their defense, I think they have like the number 1 defense or something like that. It is crazy good.
They remind me of the running game solid. CJ Stroud, he's not exactly going to tear you up like Lamar could or Josh Allen could. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes either.
He's a very good passer.
It kind of reminded me of that early 2002 Bucs team or even, dare I say it, the Ravens team from Super Bowl 35 where, hey, Trent Dilfer was just good enough. When the offense is good enough, they don't make a lot of mistakes. They're fairly solid, but the defense is so good And I think other than the Jags, I think they're the one team that wants to play right now because the Jags are off the chart right now.
yeah.
That would be the last team I'd want to play right now is Jacksonville.
The Texans have won 9 in a row, but in their franchise history, which only goes back like 15 years, they have never won a road playoff game.
No.
And
We go into the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. We got a feeling. I love that old clip from the 70s when those guys are chanting that. That's one of my favorite things ever.
But I also looked at the weather. Game time will be in the 30s.
Good. The colder, the better.
Mid-30s, yeah. Because it's going to be warm all this week until Sunday, where the high is going to be 37, and Monday where the high is going to be like 35, 37. But because it's a night game, it's going to be like mid to lower 30s. And as someone pointed out, Tomlin has never lost on Monday Night Football.
Right.
The last time the Steelers lost on Monday Night Football was in 91.
I was at that game. It was against the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
Donald's first game.
Tomlin has not won a playoff game in 8 years. What is going to break?
Well, I don't know. I'll go back to this comment here. Like, first of all, the Ravens' defense is not as good as the Texans, and the Detroit Lions' defense is certainly not as good.
No.
In fact, every starter defensive backfield in Detroit was on a third string. So the comparison to Detroit and Baltimore is out the window.
You know who you compare to Texans to? Unfortunately, you compare them to Cleveland, and we saw how bad that went. So that's a little scary. This might be a rock fight. This might be a low-scoring game.
Well, that's why I was wondering. I mean, if the Texans' offense is good, solid, but nothing spectacular, I think that goes in the Steelers' favor because how did the Ravens almost win? Not grinding it out, not giving the ball to Derrick Henry again and again, which they stopped doing at halftime because Harbaugh is an idiot.
Yeah.
Or like you said, he was trying to outsmart. Derrick Henry had 100 yards at halftime. He had 25 in the second half.
Right.
And
very few carries.
That's what I'm saying. Ravens fans today got to be scratching their heads. Like, I get it. The Zay Flowers passes worked, but there were times there where, like, you could have ran, and you didn't. And that's kind of what happened the last time these two teams met, and I can't think of what they're thinking. And I will say that about the Texans is like, cannabis is good, or cannabis is God. We can do this. I think we can. I don't think we will, because the Texans are just, if you look at those teams they've beaten just about every playoff team that's left. They didn't only just beat teams, they're beating good teams.
Okay.
But I think they could, the Steelers, if they won, I wouldn't be shocked, but it's a tall order.
But who do they just play? The Browns, who they know very well. The Ravens, who they know very well. We haven't played the Texans in a while. In fact, I think I was at the last game. It was in Houston. By the way, the Houston Stadium is basically if you've ever been in Walmart, that's the Houston Stadium. It's just a giant Walmart. But that was also a Kenny Pickett game. Good Lord, I'll never forgive him for like they did not. Kenny Pickett did not give us one reason to cheer in that game, and I felt like an idiot being in my Steeler gear in Houston. And there was a lot of Steeler fans there, and just sitting on our hands the whole time because not one good thing happened. But anyway, there's no familiarity there. They don't know each other, so I think that might play the Steelers' advantage.
Mm-hmm. It could. The one thing I thought was funny too, guys. I'm not sure if you've been hearing this, but I talked to a few friends today that are season ticket holders, and they said that was maybe the loudest and the most pumped up energy that's been coming out of Heinz Field in 10 or 15 years. TJ Watt said that was maybe the rowdiest crowd he's ever been a part of.
Here's what I heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but the price of tickets was very low, or lower than it usually is. And what that was able to do was bring in the people that can actually afford to go to a game again. Because basically, like the way things are now, we're almost getting priced out of everything. You know, concerts, sporting events, they're just getting way too expensive for the average person. Well, this game, the prices were very affordable, and that brought in the real fans that were loud and happy to be there. And maybe that's why it was so loud.
Maybe.
I've heard, and that if you did lose your voice from screaming so much, that hot tea and honey helps with that, apparently. Thank you, John. That was my friend from the gym. I saw a Ravens fan, and I asked him, like, you think they'll get rid of Harbaugh? And his response was, well, who are they going to get to replace him? Come on, there's people out there. There's humans out there that can coach people.
There are other humans.
It's the same argument with Tom. Like, well, who will you get? Somebody will be out there.
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski. Get Kevin Stefanski. He could.
Yeah.
Talk about somebody that's happy to be fired. Man, he is finally out of Cleveland in that hell. Good for you, Kevin Stefanski.
I think he's already going to Atlanta this Friday.
Good. Yeah. Get out of the AFC. I don't want to see him anymore. He's a good coach. I don't know what he deserved going to the Browns, but he is free from that prison.
But since he kept their coach.
Because they're cheap. That's why. It's like
that too. Yeah.
It's like, you mean I'm going to have to pay 2 coaches? Oh, heck no. Let's keep this guy.
The Falcons fired theirs, and the players are upset about it. Even though the Falcons won their last 4, and I think I see the Cardinals fired their coach this season. Yeah.
And so it's the Giants, Cleveland, Tennessee, New York Giants, Atlanta, Arizona are the ones that are open. What was it? I think it was in Atlanta. I think that like the owner let the coach like come back in and talk to the team and say goodbye, which was, I guess, nice. I don't know.
Yeah. No, you don't see that anywhere. I mean, even everyday person's job.
Right. You don't.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys have been officially fired or just But I remember when I was fired. Admittedly, this is late '90s, but I was called into the general manager's office. Told after working for 2 hours on a Friday that I was being let go. Escorted back to my desk to get my stuff, and then escorted out the building.
Okay.
And I'm passing people who I know. I said, nice working, but that's the only way they knew. It was like all of a sudden, it's like, oh, Dave's not here. Why isn't Dave here anymore? What do you mean Dave's fired, huh?
So I worked at a place that did the opposite. They said, like, okay, we're going to let you go, but we'll give you a couple weeks grace period and stuff. So what that guy did was on his last day, he did as much damage as possible. Like he went into the server room and just started ripping wires and stuff. So yeah. So that's why they accompany you and make sure that you don't you get out of there without.
No, I understand why they did it. But it would have been nice.
That's how it usually goes.
I don't know. Wait till 10:30 in the morning. After I'm like starting my work day.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, and like, what does that tell you when the players want to see him and meet with him and be with him? And the Falcons just got off to a bad start, and it wasn't his job. It wasn't his idea to go and sign Kirk Cousins, and then also go and get Penix, who had a history of bad knee problems and bad injuries. I mean, that was just beyond stupid. And the Falcons seem to be like a team that could do a quick turnaround. They could be that team next year instead of 8 wins gets up to 12 or 11 or 10 wins. They're not a bad team.
I think the most attractive job might be the Giants. I mean, Dart looks like a player. They got neighbors.
And they have
they might have a good young core.
Yeah.
And they have the second or third pick.
Right. They have.
So they can trade back and get like tons of, still high level people. Mainly because there's only two high level quarterbacks in this draft.
And they're going to go 1 and 2.
They're going to go 1 and 2. So yeah. The one person, I don't know if you mentioned this, but Pete Carroll being fired from the Raiders.
That's right, the Raiders too, yeah.
Which you hate to see someone who is a Hall of Fame coach leaves where he's been that long, from Seattle, goes to the Raiders, like, oh, I have stability, and he just completely the bed.
Yeah.
3-14, and it's like, dude, you should have retired. You pulled a Bill Belichick. You had the chance to retire.
A young girl? What?
Well, up to him, but I'm saying you had a chance to end on not necessarily a high note, but not, what the hell are you doing out here, old man? And
he got paid.
Like, I got one more season left in me.
I think
you don't.
You have a good point there, Dave. I think you look at these organizations because remember, Pete Carroll came from the Jets, and he knew how bad it was there. He goes to Seattle, and look what he does in Seattle. He's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But you just look at some of these teams. Like I wouldn't want to coach for the Jets or the Raiders for all the money.
Right.
They're just loser organizations. The Jets are possibly one of the worst teams of all time. They look horrible. I had to watch. Well, I live up north, so I still get most of the Pittsburgh sports stuff. But up here, we will get the Bills game. We're close enough to Buffalo where we get the Bills game. And so I had to watch that because I've been to several, games back in my younger days. Bills fans, by the way, always a lot of fun. They'll rib you pretty good. But the best thing I was ever at was at the Winter Classic in 2008 with my wife and family. And that's to me, I'm not being a Penguin biased or anything. That to me is the only real true Winter Classic. The snow was coming down.
They had it in Miami just now.
Miami this year.
Miami.
But you're watching that and you're like, how can this Jets team be this bad? No interceptions. The first time in NFL history that they had no interceptions. And you're talking like, how it's an oblong ball made of pigskin. And it bounces and it ricochets and it does all these things. And players like TJ catches it on a deflection. How can the Jets not have had one?
And they have a defensive coach. That is pathetic.
Who had 37 interceptions in his career. He's actually up there pretty high.
He should have been out there.
Yeah. That's right.
But the dumb franchises will always be the dumb franchises. Cleveland's always good. The Browns is the Browns. The Jets is the Jets. And now the Raiders are the Raiders. The Raiders do this every single year. They have one coach for 1 year and then they fire him. And then they have another coach for another. It's been like the last 6 years. It's been coach done. Coach done. They're just dumb. And they just the dumb franchises will always be dumb. Chicago finally figured it out, but they were dumb for a long time. It's funny when you see who was it? Somebody said somebody wants to talk to Matt Nagy, who I think was the coach of the Bears or something like that. Now he's a coordinator with the Chiefs. This is the problem when you hire a coach that's a coordinator. Some coordinators are really good coordinators and terrible head coaches, and you don't know which is which. They just go up to a certain level, but if they get higher than that level, you're screwed. And you just don't know. You don't know whether you're going to get a good coach or not, or somebody that's just a good coordinator.
Heck, you got Dick LeBeau,
right? One of the best defensive coordinators ever. Terrible head coach.
Yeah. Or if you want to go someone who's maybe who wasn't as good, Joe Walton. Really good offensive coordinator. Stunk up at least he was good in college.
Not according to Bobby Ritzer.
He seemed to have a good, he seemed to run it good there, but the college students too. But yeah, it's
you don't know,
and
you don't know. That's why the Steelers should never get rid of Tomlin.
Never.
I did see things that's like, Tomlin just bought himself another 10 years with this win. Yay.
If he wins on Monday, the thing is, if they can win on Monday, I think really, if they can win on Monday, we'll have to see what the other, what else happens with the other, if there's any other, but I could see them winning 2 games. if they can make it past Monday, like I said, once you're in the playoffs, and if you can get past that first round, weird stuff happens.
The biggest test might be this Monday. If they could get past Houston, I would love their chances against either Denver, New England, Buffalo, or Jacksonville. There are no super teams right now. There are no great teams. Maybe in the NFC there are, but not in the AFC. There are flaws on every team, and
it's matchup.
It's matchup. It's matchups, and the Steelers might be peaking at the right time.
They could be. I still think that. I mean, that Jacksonville's playing at a high level right now. I would say their defense and offense are both top 5. I think the Bills are going to have their hands full there. The Bills have the same problem we have. They have no receivers. You know, I don't know how you have. That's another thing. How you look at that Bills team? You have Josh Allen. You didn't get him any help, just like Aaron Rodgers. We got Aaron Rodgers a little bit of help, but then, you know, that's what I was kind of thinking about, Joe. We were talking about sitting on the couches last night, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, I know one thing I'm going to talk about with Dave and Joe is, you know, you had all this time. We saw this coming back last February. They need another receiver. They need another receiver. They need another receiver. And if we were lost last night, I think that was going to be my opening. Like, you know, we never did that. We never, you know. But so, yeah, I think the Bills definitely don't have the receiving. Right now, my pick out of the AFC is Jacksonville. I think we could beat Texas or Houston. Great, but I think we'd have a hard time getting past Jacksonville. Plus, Jacksonville has our damn number, and they have ever since Freddie Taylor run over us. You know, MJD would run over us. I mean, how many times have we had Jacksonville here? We've been there.
Blake Bortles.
Bortles.
Putting up like 45 on us or some crap like that. That was like, I think we lost that game 45-42. That was the peak of the Ben, AB, Le'Veon Bell thing. And they were down like 40 or something like that. And they still made a furious comeback and barely lost. That was an insane game. But we lost a play
at home.
At home. That was almost they should have fired Tomlin right then and there. That he would have deserved it. But
I'm gonna say, when we were saying was last week the worst loss, I would say if it would have taken them out of the playoffs, possibly, but it didn't. You know, they still had another game left, and it wasn't a playoff game. So, but you know, I'm looking at the brackets. So, honestly, I can see the Chargers beating the Patriots.
I can see that. See, my thing about
I can see that
Denver and almost all these teams is they're new to this. You know, New England sucked last year. Jacksonville sucked last year. Denver still has a relatively new team.
Very young team.
You know, you don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs.
Like the Texans, heavy on defense, no offense.
Yeah. But you're right, Darren. It was really dumb last year when they just had one good wide receiver, and you think, okay, well, we're not going to make that mistake again, and that's exactly what they did. And they asked Omar Khan about that, and like, oh no, we're in better position this year. We got Roman Wilson and Robert Woods. Remember, Robert Woods was on this team. He actually said, "We got Robert Woods. We'll be fine." Like, the dude didn't even make it out of camp. No. So. But yeah,
and Roman Wilson's gone.
Missing in action. You know,
Roman Wilson, huge disappointment.
Yeah, I'll give Adam Thielen credit. That was a nice catch this night. Maybe that's what you just need to have happen is get him just warmed up a little bit, and then I feel a little bit better having him and Scanlon over there.
Yeah.
3 with the tight ends we have.
You're right. Not 1-2, but 2-3 underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't even say 2-3. I'll call them 3-4. Gainwell is your number 2 wide receiver.
That's true.
You know, we talked about, we didn't have DK for the Cleveland game. You know who else we didn't have? Our wide receiver 2, Calvin Austin. No. And look what a difference he made last night.
Yeah.
Especially when he broke that guy's ankle on that final touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
I heard he slipped on the turf or something like that, so that's literally home field advantage.
Home field advantage because our crappy turf got him.
Yay!
Yeah.
I did like also the post game interview with Aaron Rodgers. He's like, "Yeah, I like Cal. He's always," and I'm like, "Okay, you're on the left. What do you want?" "Oh, I don't know what I want." And someone said, "Just burn them already." And he said, "Okay, do a stop and go." And so we saw the stop and go, saw the guy fall down. He's like, "Okay, boom, touchdown."
How about that whole sequence where they had to burn all their timeouts because their helmet didn't work or some crap like
Oh
that?
my God, I was flipping out. I mean, it was partially Tomlin, it was partially Aaron Rodgers. It was like, what in the hell are you guys doing? This is the first time this year.
And then when the Ravens scored, and it's like, we could have used those timeouts right about now.
Yeah, we could have. But that's Mike Tomlin 101. Nobody burns a timeout better than Mike Tomlin.
He is the king of the useless timeout, the unnecessary timeouts. He is the king.
There is a praying mantis on the football. Timeout.
Yeah.
Bad luck. You don't want to hurt those. Bad luck.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something. But yeah, they asked Tomlin after the game. They said, "Well, what if you lost? What do you think?" He's like, "Yeah, what if? What if my aunt had male parts? She'd be my uncle."
Yes,
that is a good line. Okay.
I remember hearing something like that in the past too.
Yeah, I've heard that joke before, but
not as
not from an
as
NFL head
censored.
coach.
Yeah, not as censored.
They played that this morning on Get Up, and those guys, Greenberg and Orlowski, they lost it. They just thought that was just too funny.
When did I go to bed? Like 1:30 in the morning or something? Because I was so wound up. It's like there's no way I could go to bed after this game. So I was watching everything, and when I heard that, I was like, okay, that is really good. But I mean, literally, what if they did lose that game? We're probably, I don't know if Tomlin is getting fired, but I do know that for sure Aaron Rodgers would not come back next year, because I guess that was a report from Jerry Dulac or something like that. I mean, it would have changed. This could be the game that changes a lot. It could be if Harbaugh gets fired because of this. That would be huge. I just think something's going to happen there, because it seems like Lamar Jackson and Harbaugh do not get along, and like one of them got to go, and it's usually the coach.
Well, they asked Lamar, and I thought he gave a pretty simple answer. And it was a guy from ESPN. I forget his name. And they asked him what he thought about Harbaugh, and he said, "Man, I haven't even taken in this game yet. How am I supposed to even think about next year?" But, the only thing I read into that was he didn't stand up for his coach. He could have easily said, "Man, I have no problems with him. I have problems."
He could have said, "I support my coach. I love my coach." No, he evaded the question. So,
yeah.
Or he was thinking about video games. Who knows?
Right.
I wonder what video game he plays. Maybe it's Miss Pac-Man or something like that, or Donkey Kong, or I don't know. I don't know what video game the kids are playing nowadays.
I should ask my son. He plays all these ones that I can't even. Although he does get into the vintage ones too. So that's cool. No. That's cool.
Pitfall. Maybe it's Pitfall. Pitfall. That was a really tough game.
That was a tough game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I just looked up the odds for next week real quick. I am shocked. Buffalo is favored by 1.5.
1.5.
Oh, yeah.
On the road against Jacksonville.
I believe it.
See, I don't get that at all.
It's not whether a team is better or not. It's whether the Vegas thinks that, how wonders how.
Yeah. Well, I know. Yeah, you got to do it. So you're gonna. Yeah.
Because what's the line? Isn't Houston favored by 3 or something like that?
3.5 last.
3. Yeah.
Oh, it's down to 3. Okay.
Well, I'm at DraftKings.
Well,
I know everyone probably has their own, but
there's a guy too. If you watch that, that's another part of the Texans game. That Kyle Fairbairn, he's a very good field goal kicker, and when the Texans offense has sputtered this year, he has no problem. I've had, and I only know this because I had him in fantasy for a while. He'll kick 5 field goals, no problem. And I think he kicked 5 on Sunday. And I don't think anywhere shorter than 47 yards. I mean, he's a very reliable, very accurate field goal kicker. So if we get into a battle of field positioning and stuff, they're going to be ready to go toe to toe with us and Boz.
But he's used to playing in Houston in a dome.
Yeah, no, good point.
Not Heinz Field. I'm sorry, Heinz. I'll call it Heinz Field. Right there, Heinz Field.
Oh, it's Heinz Field.
Yep.
Heinz Field. Not Heinz Field in January when it's going to be in the 30s, when that ball will be frozen when you kick into it. And that turf will be a mess.
Yeah.
The fact that there's only, really, I'm looking at the spreads. There's only, in my mind, there's only one big spread. Rams at Carolina. And that's 10.
Yeah.
They're saying that basically people are saying it's like, oh, Broncos, Patriots, Jaguars, Texans, Bills, Chargers, very good teams. Seahawks, Bears, Eagles, Rams, 49ers, Packers, all good teams. Steelers and the Panthers, they suck and they don't even belong. They don't even belong in the National Football League anymore. They belong in playing Pee Wee or something like that. That's basically the general consensus of what people think. Do you know what Kaimi Fairbairn's real name is? John Christian Kaimi Onololameka Ike Kekumpa Umpa Fairbairn.
Yeah, it's something crazy.
He's Hawaiian or something like that.
Oh, Hawaiian. I was going to say,
his name. I'm very sorry.
Is he Hawaiian or he's Samoan?
Yeah, it is like seriously like 30 letters or something like that. It is. So yeah, I would also go by Kaimi. Poor guy. I feel bad for his like I'd like to see his driver's license.
Yeah, right.
Is any documentation with him? It's like, oh, his tax return or something like that. Like, oh god. Poor. I mean, the poor, when he was a kid, like to just write that down every time. It's like
your paper, yeah.
I mean, just learning your name. You should be able to get a high school diploma.
That's funny. We cover everything here on the Donut Bag.
Everything, yeah.
But okay, also
spellers' names, everything.
Yeah, I'll say this too. Growing up in Western Pennsylvania, how many people had last names that you took a while, who you went to school with, you had to get their names right?
Oh, if they were Polish or
yeah,
exactly, yeah. Or the guy who lived, guy grew up across the street from me, was a couple years younger than me. Last name of Hergenroder.
Yeah, we got some.
And I moved on the street when I was in second grade, and they said, just call us by our first name. You're having trouble getting our last name right. Just call us by our first name instead of Mr. or Mrs.
How about people that came over here, like immigrants that came over here, and they come over, it's like, what's your name? Whatever it is, it's some long name. It's like, I'm not putting that down. Here's your name now. It's like, make it some short, simple thing.
Your last name is Smith.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's so many C's in Smith Wisconsins.
Don Corleone. Yeah, I'm really excited about the playoffs, but and I think the Steelers have a better chance than we think, even though the Texans are. But I think another thing is the Texans have won 9 in a row, and I think that actually helps the Steelers, because when you win and keep winning, you don't realize you have problems. And so if you could just expose a weakness, if they have a weakness, I don't know. If you
they didn't win their division, so obviously they have a weakness.
Right.
I mean, admittedly, they started slow and they got better.
They were only 12-5.
but even after that, I think they started 1-3. They still lost 2 games after that beginning. They didn't. Even a perfect team has a weakness.
Yep.
I think so. I still look, and I think this is the way with a lot of sports, including especially the NHL and MLB. When you're hot at the right time, and they're hot at the right time. I'm not saying we can't win. I think we could. I've said that, but to me, it's like, well, you lost to Indianapolis in the first 3 weeks. That's because Indianapolis is hot, but look how the Colts finished. They finished 0-7. And they're nowhere even touching the playoffs. So everybody thought they might be the darling. Well, they're not. And I just think when you come in on a hot streak, like that Steelers team, that wild card Steelers team in 05 or 08. We came in hot. That was the only thing where, I think a lot of us kind of felt like, we can beat the Bengals. If we have to go on the road to beat these teams, we can beat these teams. I felt very confident when they went against Seattle that they were going to dupe the Seahawks pretty easily in that Super Bowl. It was a little ugly. Ben sure as hell didn't look great in that Super Bowl, but I just feel like that seems to be when you're hot is.
What was the Indianapolis game? What was that? 05?
That was
That was 05 because it was Bus who fumbled.
It was the bus who fumbled, and that was
Bus who fumbled.
Now remember,
and then Ben had to make the shoe grab.
Yeah, the tackle.
And the miss of the field goal at the very end.
So that game featured somebody screwing up, and then the other team driving down, about to kick a field goal, but they miss. Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And let's be also honest. If we said a month ago, you look at the last 3 games, the Steelers are going to win 2 and lose 1. If you would have said they're going to beat the Lions, beat the Ravens, but they're going to lose to the Browns, you would have said, I mean, Tomlin losing to the Browns and Cleveland, yeah, I could see it, but no way if they're going to win 2 out of 3 to win it, there's no way they're going to win both in Detroit and then the last game of the year. There's no way they can. They did.
There's no like I just as soon as the schedule came out, it's like, oh, Lions game, that's obviously a loss.
Mm-hmm. And we're like, we're definitely going to split against the Ravens.
But that's just it. When they got destroyed by the Bills and they were 6-6, and everybody was like, fire Tomlin and screw you, Renegade. We were thinking, oh, maybe we'll get a good draft pick. And they basically treated every game after that as like a playoff game. So they've been playing basically playoff games for like the past 4 weeks.
Playoff mentality, yeah. And this was a playoff game. This was legitimately a playoff game.
Pretty much. So
unlike the Carolina-Tampa game, where Tampa still won, but because of strength of schedule, didn't make the playoffs.
And Atlanta missed the playoffs because they lost to the Jets, which is a fireable offense, as we saw, because they fired him. So it's like, I'm sorry, we can't keep you on. You lost to the Jets. Okay, you don't. Now remember the Jets, who that coach brought Aaron Rodgers all the way across the country to tell him to his face, screw you, you're fired. He didn't do it over Zoom. He did it to his face, screw you, you're fired. And that's why Aaron Rodgers was so motivated to beat him on a week 1. But what a joke of a franchise.
Yeah.
But
Joe also wants a joke of a franchise. The offseason in Cleveland, where Shador he didn't play good, but he didn't play horrible. He didn't, like I said, he didn't completely look miserable. Neither did the other guy.
And they still have
look miserable.
I think Shador looked absolutely horrible, and I just wonder if Shador got in the owner's ear and said, I could be a lot better, but that coach doesn't like me. I think you should get rid of him.
That could have happened. I thought he looked like a decent backup at times, and that's about all.
Yeah. I think he could be a good backup in this league, but not a starter.
He's not a starter.
But also Shador could say, I beat the Steelers.
That's true. That's true.
So could Baker Mayfield, too.
So could Myles Garrett.
Yep.
Hey, good for you. You got your little sack record. Yay. You idiot. They carried him off the field or something like that. Like that's him in a nutshell. All he cares about is his records and his stats. And he could have left the Browns, but no, I'd rather lose a billion games and get my stats. And
yeah, it's pretty sad. And I think they carried him off during the game, didn't they? Was the game still going on when they carried him off? Did I see that?
I think so, and I think Joe froze, but we'll keep going on.
I think it was close in seconds, but
it's still.
I don't care what you say. It's an asterisk.
We're gonna close it up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
I don't know what happened. That might have been on my end. Anyway, that's a good indication.
The stream kept going.
Okay. Well, all you missed was me saying "screw you, Myles Garrett." But anyway, that's a good indication that we should quit anyway. So, we'll see. Monday nights, we made the playoffs, baby, and
we'll see what happens. It
I
should
guess
be.
we'll have to bump the podcast out to Tuesday or Wednesday or something now.
You're right. Right.
Yeah.
Unless we're going to go do a live shot at the, which I can't do, but yeah.
I wouldn't want to do a live watch along because, like, especially last night, I was a mess all night.
No.
I was not. I think most Steelers fans are like that. Like like people are like, "Oh, I would love to watch a game with you." It's like, no, you don't. I'm horrible to be around. My dog runs away. My dog goes.
My dog ran away at one point. Yeah. Yeah, stomping on the floor, and yeah. See, I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that. My wife is crazy.
Right. Yeah. I've heard a lot.
It was greedy.
Oh,
Why
I
my
watch
wife
a game with
thinks I'm
you.
an idiot? Yeah.
All right, guys. So I will see you probably Tuesday next.
All right. Good to see you, Dave.
We'll see.
Good to see you, Joe.
Good to see you, Darren.
See ya.
You too, Joe.
Bye-bye.